What's up everyone, Andrew Baena here, and on today's video we have an interesting experiment. For once I have two guitars with pretty much identical specs, but one is the 7-string and one is a baritone guitar. So I get asked all the time in my comments why you would choose to use a baritone or a 7-string, or why not one or the other, or people saying that a 7-string sounds way different than a 6-string, or a baritone sounds different than a 7-string, and so on and so forth. So I figured, hey, why not cut out the middleman? Let's just get two of the exact same guitar where the only difference is the amount of strings, or if it's baritone, and see if it makes a difference. So for the format of this video, what I'm going to do is show you how both of these guitars sound in a full demo mix. Then we're going to come back and talk about the specs of these two guitars, or really the guitar minus the one spec, and then I'm going to show you what the two guitars sound like compared to each other back to back outside of a mix, so just the guitar single track, so you can really hear the difference, if there even is one. One more thing to mention before we get onto the playthrough is that this video is technically sponsored. Harley Benton did send both of these guitars over to me. They're not paying me to say anything. All these thoughts and opinions are my own, but of course that is worth mentioning. And also, if you're interested in buying either of these two guitars or anything else from Thomann, please go check out the link in the description or the pinned comment below, because I do make a little bit of affiliate money off of that, and I would really appreciate it. So with that being said, let's move on to the first part of the video, which is the full demo track, and it sounds like this. Okay, so now that you've heard how these guitars sound in a full demo mix, we're going to talk about the specs and features of these two instruments. First and foremost, these are both the Amarok model from Harley Benton. Again, the only difference between the two is that this is the 6-string baritone, and the other one is a 7-string, which has a standard scale length. So this one is 27 inches, the other one is 25.5 inches, and has the extra string. All other specs and features are the same, and they go as follows. So for the body of this guitar, we have a mahogany body with a quilted maple veneer on top. As for the neck, as you can see on the back, it is a neck through construction maple and mahogany 5-piece neck that goes all the way through the body, and it has an ebony fretboard. It has white offset perloid dots, and on the side it has glow-in-the-dark fret markers. As for the hardware and electronics, it has EMG retroactive pickups, a Hipshot style bridge, not an official Hipshot bridge, but very, very close. It actually fooled me the first time I did the unboxing. As for controls, through a pickup selector, volume, and tone. And last but not least, on the back, we have Grover locking tuners, a very nice touch. And yeah, like I already mentioned, 27-inch baritone scale length versus 25.5-inch standard scale length, but with a 7th string. Okay, so now that I've shown you all the specs and features of these two instruments, I'm going to play them both back to back. These both have the exact same setup with the exact same strings, which is a 10 to 56 in drop A. On the baritone, it's just missing the 10 because obviously the high string is gone. And again, you will be able to hear the difference between the two guitars, or maybe you won't, honestly. Well, I'll talk about my thoughts and opinions later. Here the guitars are back to back. Okay, now that you've heard these guitars back to back, I want to know what you think. Can you actually hear a difference? If you can, is it that big of a difference? I personally would venture to guess that 99% of people would never be able to tell the difference, especially in the full mix. In the full mix, I sent it to a few of my friends before making this video, and they literally couldn't tell that they were even switching between the two guitars unless I told them. And even after I told them, they said that they couldn't really tell where I was switching. So in my opinion, the difference is so subtle to the point that most people probably would never care. Outside of the full mix, when you play the guitars back to back, yeah, I think there is a little difference, but the difference is very, very minuscule in my opinion, and I would love to know your thoughts in the comments as well. So that kind of begs the question of why do people seem to care so much if you get a 7-string or a baritone? Why does one seem to be better than the other? In my opinion, it kind of doesn't really fucking matter. You should just pick whatever instrument makes you happy. If you don't want 7 strings, you can get a baritone and just tune it down. If you want 7 strings, then just get a 7-string. Either way, whatever makes you happy, just do that. I know that sounds like kind of a passive-aggressive way to look at things, but really, it doesn't matter. With that being said, I think that the most important question to ask yourself when trying to decide which guitar to buy is what your actual intended use for it is. So what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean is you have to ask yourself what your actual intention is. So do you want to just tune low? If that's the case, then getting a baritone might be enough for you because you maybe don't necessarily need that high extra string. You just want it longer so that you can tune lower, because trying to tune low on a 25.5-inch regular scale guitar is a little bit of a pain in the ass in my opinion. Or conversely, if you don't necessarily care about tuning low but you want more range, then that's where something like an extended range guitar like a 7 or 8 string comes into play, because then yes, you can still tune a little bit lower, but also you still have the accessibility and availability of your high strings, so you get the best of both worlds. So I guess all I'm trying to say is before you make your purchase, just try and think that through. Don't necessarily think so much of the sound difference between a baritone and a standard scale. Try thinking more of what you actually want to accomplish with that guitar, and that will help you make a better decision and not regret your purchase later. Both of these guitars in my opinion sound really good, and I think that I would be happy either way. For my style of playing, really I could just use a baritone guitar because most of the time I'm just using the bottom 4 strings anyways, but I grew up playing 7-string and 8-string guitars, and at this point I just have a hard time going back to playing 6 strings. And also for my band, some of our songs very rarely actually use those high 2 strings, so I can't switch back to using a baritone. But I have fun either way, and it kind of, I don't know, just do whatever you think is fun, really. With that being said, the last thing I want to mention is you can get both of these guitars over at Thomann. The link to that is going to be in the description and the pinned comment below. And also I want to let you know that I do have an affiliate link where if you buy a guitar or anything from Thomann using that link, I actually get a small percentage of that. So if you're considering buying anything from Thomann, please use my link because it helps me out a lot and I would really appreciate it. Also, of course, again, a big thank you to Harley Benton for sending these 2 guitars over to me so I can do a video like this. I know this isn't necessarily like a review or demo of these guitars, it's more of like a comparison between the two, but regardless, I thought it would be a fun idea, and I'm happy that Harley Benton agreed to my idea and sent them both over. It's pretty rare that you can get 2 of almost the exact same guitar to do this kind of a video with, so I thought it would be, you know, a fun comparison. And that's pretty much all I have to say for this video. Again, big thank you to Harley Benton and Thomann. Please go check out the links in the pinned comment and the description below. Thank you all so much for watching. I look forward to seeing if you can actually hear a difference. And if you can hear a difference, I would encourage you to watch this video again and close your eyes. Don't let your eyes fool your ears. Can you actually hear a difference if you don't see the difference between the guitars? I would say it's a lot harder to tell than you would think. And of course, last but not least, a big thank you to all my Patreon members whose names are on the screen at this point in time. If you're interested in audio downloads, guitar tabs, stems, or a shout out on the screen, you can find all of that over there. That's all I gotta say. I look forward to reading your comments, and I will see you next time.